Why everyone should take this powder. This is a protein powder that can affect your cardiovascular disease, your gut health, pain in your joints, how young you will look, and more. Yet we almost never get it from food. It's called collagen. I will guide you through how can collagen keep your body young and slow down the aging rate, the types of collagen products, 1, 2, 3, which should you take, how to use collagen protocol to boost your exercise routine, what to take before and what to take after. And glycine is an amazing amino acid that is very high in collagen. How does it affect your body? And we're also going to touch NAC too. And of course, I will share exactly what I do today and what I changed in the last year. This was recorded live with my inner circle group. Enjoy. One of the challenges we have with the protein is that on the one hand, protein gives the body building blocks to repair damage, which is good for longevity. On the other hand, protein can turn off autophagy and prevent recycling and actually prevent the stress response. It's kind of a challenging nutrient. And today we're going to digest, quote unquote, the protein to the small building blocks. So you're going to get the longevity benefits and also to repair the tissues. The question is, what is collagen? So collagen is a protein, a whole protein that makes up the bones, the connective tissues, including the blood vessels, the joints, and the gut. And these connective tissues of your body, preservation of that aspect of you is going to increase your lifespan. There are many reasons why that's the case. And one of them is, of course, if you repair the blood vessels, you're going to have lower cardiovascular disease. If you repair damage to the joints, you're going to have lower inflammation. If you repair damage to the gut, you're going to have less leaky gut. You're going to have stronger immune system, less inflammation. Why the bones are important? To avoid osteoporosis, osteopenia, to get fractures easily when we get older. And of course, the skin, besides aging, also going to make us look younger. So as you can see, collagen really it repairs tissues that seems to play an important role in anti-aging and longevity. What I'm about to show you right now is a real secret. To control aging, we need to go back to what controls life on this planet, the DNA. Your genes. Now, how do genes work? They encode mainly for one thing. Not carbs, not fat, protein. The structure of your body is protein. Your ability to maintain this protein structure young is at the core of the youth preservation strategy. So how do we do that? We need to do two things. We need to get rid of junk protein, damaged protein that makes up the structure of your body, and replace that with young protein, new protein, meaning recycling and rejuvenation. That's how you stay young. When we speak about aging, one of the goals is to replenish and rejuvenate the protein structure that makes up our bodies. One of the principles in natural medicine, natural health, is to eat the foods that correspond with the tissue that you try to repair. So if you have damage to your liver, it makes sense to eat liver, especially from grass-fed. When you really think about it, the animal foods that we eat, actually, they're flesh. So think about this for a second. When we eat fish, what do we eat with fish? When you eat fish, you usually eat the fish muscle. When you eat chicken, what do you eat? The muscle of the chicken. When you eat steak, what do you eat? You eat the muscles of those animals. So obviously all these foods, they're going to give us a very similar amino acids profile, the same composition of the protein that would tend to be more beneficial for muscle repair and building. But collagen, it comes from bones and ligaments and skin, then it becomes a powder that we consume as a supplement, then that is going to repair these corresponding organs, blood vessels, the gut, the skin. And when you think about it, what in our diet actually does it? Almost nothing. One of the biggest criticism about collagen is its incomplete protein because it lacks tryptophan and other essential amino acids. But it's actually a good balance to things like meat, red meat. So if a person, let's say, eat red meat, but still has enough protein to eat that day, then collagen is going to actually complement the red meat because it's going to provide something that is very low in essential amino acids. So it's going to have a complementary effect. But all in all, the first benefit about collagen, it repairs tissues that are associated with longevity or actually make us live longer and look younger. And most of our foods do not provide that. How do we get collagen? Skin, bones, tendons, we don't eat that, right? So what do we do eat? We may eat things like bone broth. When you bake a fish skin, you're going to get the gelatin because the cooking is going to break down the collagen into the gelatin. So you're going to get this gelatinous texture. The gelatin and collagen is the same. Gelatin is just collagen that has been heated and partially broken down. And of course, the third way to get collagen is actually with the collagen peptides, or it's called hydrolyzed collagen. In that situation, collagen is going to give us the peptides. Most of the studies on humans, they try to see how much collagen you need to eat, either to get benefits from exercise or to look younger. 10 to 15 grams is required to actually see benefits on the skin. What they have found is that if you consume 15 grams or 20 grams before exercise, what is going to happen when you're going to exercise? You're going to have all these peptides ready to repair damage to the tissues. When you exercise, you cause damage to the connective tissues. The collagen comes and repairs the connective tissues and the joints. So there is a synergetic effect of taking the collagen before exercise, actually. And how long before exercise? In the human studies, they took it 1 hour before. And they tested the blood of the humans, and they found all these peptides were in the blood ready to activate the repair. You need at least 15 grams before exercise. Over age 65, you need 20 grams before exercise because you need more anabolic push. There is an additional benefit with taking collagen before exercise. Actually, it improves exercise performance. So if you fast in that day and you want to engage in intense exercise, taking collagen before exercise is going to give you a boost from a strength perspective and performance, but also is going to initiate a repair of connective tissues. So you're going to get two benefits combining exercise with collagen. Another thing that I really like about collagen powder, that it has no sugar or fat, because most of the protein powders that we consume, when you think about it, whey or plant protein, usually they're going to come not just pure protein, also going to give you fat and sugar. So whey, for example, it comes from lactose and saturated fat. And technically, you really don't need these two from a longevity perspective. And collagen doesn't have these. You have a complete control of your fat and carb intake separately without the collagen. The third benefit for longevity of collagen, it has a lean mass preservation effect. So they've done a human study that compared whey protein versus collagen in people who had nutrient deprivation in a low-calorie diet. And most people in those diets, they lose muscle mass and lean mass. And whey prevented that, and also collagen, which was very surprising to the researchers because they knew that collagen is low in essential amino acids. So how collagen did that, we're going to speak about this today, but it has a very unique ability to preserve muscle mass on a nutrient deprivation. For us, it's perfect. If you're going to follow what I do, lower protein, very low carb diet, I try to eat lower calories, collagen is going to come in, and without deactivating autophagy like whey would do, it is going to preserve lean muscle mass. The researchers thought that probably also because it preserves the joints and the ligaments as well. So right now we're going to speak about how to optimize your collagen protocol. And we're also going to speak about glycine protocol for maximum repair and anti-aging. I want to go deeper into collagen so you can see where exactly it fits your individual longevity strategy and what is the best amount of collagen you can consume every day. So to delve deeper, I have a belief that I'm going to suggest, and tell me if you agree or disagree. So the belief is this: the body uses dietary protein to repair tissues. So the more accurate reality is that the body only sees amino acids and small peptides from digested protein. Intact protein doesn't get into the tissues. When we speak about longevity and achieving the goals, the biological goals we want with our bodies, we need to understand what the body actually sees, and the body sees either individual amino acids or it sees peptides. When I say peptides, I refer to 2-3 amino acids that are connected to one another. It's almost fully digested, but not quite. And why this is important, because when you consume collagen, you actually consume collagen peptides. It's important because these peptides actually play a role as a messenger, almost like hormones. And only then they're going to be broken down to individual amino acids and have nutritional content on top. If we want to keep our body young, we need to understand how the body uses protein. And actually, the body doesn't use protein at all. It uses amino acids, and it's being activated by these peptides. So we need to understand a bit about amino acids. Protein is made up of 20 amino acids. Most of them actually deactivate in excess autophagy. There are 3 amino acids, proline, glycine, and NAC, that do not do that. And in fact, they support the stress response of your body. And collagen has 2 out of the 3 amino acids in high amounts. And this leads me to the 4th benefit of collagen, which is the unique amino acid content of collagen. All the collagen types, meaning the bovine skin, bovine bone, marine collagen, chicken collagen, all these share the same amino acid profile, which is about 50% of that is going to be in glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. No other food on this planet has so much glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. Glycine is about 23-24%, proline about 14%, and hydroxyproline about 11%. I want to go one by one for each of these amino acids so you understand how they interact with longevity, because this is really what you consume. You don't really consume the protein, you consume these amino acids. The first one is glycine. One of the questions about glycine, like how does it affect autophagy and how it affects our entire longevity strategy. So first of all, glycine does not prevent autophagy, unlike most amino acids. So when you eat red meat, it's going to be broken down to amino acids that if the DNA sees in excess, is going to turn off autophagy, so you're going to stop the recycling. This does not happen with glycine. So this is one thing that is very important. In addition, it seems that glycine actually protects the body from excess methionine, which actually is very high in red meat. So if somebody eats a bit of excess protein, glycine is going to come in and try to still activate autophagy despite the excess protein. Another thing that glycine does, it produces something that is called the sarcosine that also activates autophagy. Another thing that glycine does, it helps the body to form glutathione. So let's say that you take R-lipoic acid like I recommend, or you engage in high-intensity exercise. These strategies will activate a mechanism called NRF2. This mechanism is a genetic mechanism that goes to the DNA to make more glutathione. But to make glutathione, the body must have glycine and NAC. So glycine is going to support the production of glutathione. Worth noting when we speak about NAC, cysteine, right? The amino acid cysteine, there is no cysteine in collagen, so it's supposed to be a separate supplement. So if you want, you can take cysteine NAC supplement with the collagen shake. Of course, glycine also supports the connective tissue we mentioned, right? Of the joints, ligaments, the gut, the skin, and it's going to reduce inflammation because of damage to these tissues. If that is not enough with glycine, some research on cells show that glycine actually releases GLP-1, that is pretty hot right now. And the GLP-1 release improves blood sugar, improves insulin. So it seems that unlike most amino acids, most protein actually is going to either increase blood sugar or increase insulin. Like BCAA, the essential amino acids, are going to increase insulin. And glycine is amino acids that does the opposite effect. And this is probably why glycine increased longevity in animals. In the ITP study, about 8% of their diet was glycine, and they lived about, I think, 7% longer. In the animal studies, they show a moderate increase in lifespan, but pretty dramatic increase in protection from tumors and cancer. These animals had less tumors and less cancer pretty significantly. The reason for that could be the effect on autophagy, or also the protection from excess protein. There was another interesting thing about glycine that I wanted to tell you about. It also preserves muscle mass. So they showed in studies, if you do like fasting and you provide the body with glycine, it seems to prevent degradation of the muscle mass as well. Glycine, the more I research this amino acid, the more I am impressed by it. And there is no contradiction. Like the mechanism is very well known, what I explained to you right now. And they show that indeed glycine increases lifespan. So we see the end result. The picture is pretty clear. Glycine is pretty much amazing. You cannot really get any better than that, safe than that. It's pretty much amazing. And ideally, what you need to see is how much you get glycine from your routine, and target somewhere between 5 to 10 grams per day. And I think you need to get most of the days the glycine in grams, like 5 to 10 grams of glycine every day. That would be the range. Although the studies show that even small amount of glycine is going to begin to have a protective effect. Of course, so how do we get glycine? You can buy glycine powder, which I recommend. If you eat like the fish skin, if you consume collagen powder, if you eat about 20 grams of collagen, which is a very good amount, you're going to have about 4.5 grams of glycine, or almost 5. And when you take magnesium glycinate, for every 100 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, you get about 600 milligrams of glycine. If you take like magnesium glycinate, or if you want to take glycine powder, which is very cheap, by the way, you can take it before you go to sleep. It's going to help you with deep sleep. But when you take it to the collagen, you don't have a very strong neurotransmitter effect. You get the nutritional effect. But when you take it with magnesium, yes, it is going to make you sleepy a bit. Glycine has amazing place in the longevity routine. It's kind of connected to all the good stuff. Magnesium connected to glycine, collagen connected to glycine. To organize, I get my glycine from collagen, magnesium bisglycinate, and glycine powder. If you want to see how collagen fits your overall protein strategy for longevity, to activate autophagy, removing junk, and keep your body young, go to wellnessmessiah.com/protein. Let's go to the second one. So we said about 40% of the collagen you consume is amino acid called proline. I double checked whether it's going to deactivate autophagy, because this is a question. You take an amino acid, you take a building block, would it deactivate autophagy? Or would it push IGF-1? Would it activate mTOR? And the answer is no, it will not do that. So it's another big chunk of collagen that does not push IGF-1 or deactivate autophagy. In fact, when you stress your body, the proline is going to help your body resist stress. So in a low protein diet, low carb diet, intense exercise, proline is going to help your body to respond better to stress. And in fact, in some animals, proline is necessary for them to survive under stress. Another interesting thing is proline can actually help to activate autophagy. This I discovered recently, I had no idea, but what happens when you do fasting, when you eat low-calorie diets, you activate a mechanism called AMPK. This mechanism also being activated by berberine, by metformin, and this AMPK also speaks to autophagy, and AMPK needs proline to activate autophagy. So proline is being used by AMPK to activate autophagy. In other words, together with glycine, if you combine both of these, so we have about 24% glycine, another 13% proline, you're going to get like almost 40% of pro-longevity amino acids that help your body to sustain stress and react to stress better. Then you have a third amino acid. Let's go to hydroxyproline. Hydroxyproline, very surprisingly, has nothing to do with proline and is not used by your body as a building block. So technically, 11 to 13% of your collagen isn't protein at all. Let me repeat that. So when you consume collagen, let's say you get 20 grams of protein, actually hydroxyproline is not a protein at all. How hydroxyproline works? Hydroxyproline, most of it comes in a peptide form. When the body sees that, actually it stimulates the repair of joints and ligaments. So it works as a messenger. So the hydroxyproline basically tells the body, you see all these glycine and proline you now consume, please use that to build the tissues, the gut, the skin, all of that. So hydroxyproline is a messenger that makes your collagen peptide actually integrated into these tissues. Very interesting. After that, after the body sees the message, it begins to break down the hydroxyproline. Actually, it makes 40% of it actually become glycine. So it's going to give you actually more glycine, which is great. And 60% of it is going to become energy, which is also good because when you eat a low carb diet, your body can actually use this hydroxyproline to make a bit of glucose and protect your lean body mass. And this could be the reason why studies show that together with glycine, hydroxyproline, probably these two, they preserve muscle mass even if you fast or if you eat a low protein diet. I want you to see how collagen has a synergetic effect with low protein, low carb diet with a biological stress lifestyle. So if a person eats a low protein diet, it's going to enhance everything. Yeah, but if a person eats excess protein that day, it's much better to just take the glycine alone without the collagen. Because collagen is still going to give you amino acids that are going to activate mTOR and turn off autophagy if you eat them in excess. But for us, in the strategy that I suggest, it's perfect. You can actually think about collagen as 50% in regular protein and 50% special protein, the proline, glycine, and hydroxyproline. I'm going to go now to the types of different products, the collagen 1, 2, 3, and all the questions you asked. So we have the collagen peptides as a powder form, which has different sources. I'm going to speak about the sources. But there is additional product you can buy, which is called the Undenatured collagen capsules. There are companies that they sell type 2 collagen that is it's called undenatured, and in that situation it's not hydrolyzed, and they take it from chicken, and it's for people who have autoimmune disease that the immune system attacks connective tissues. It was shown in human studies that to reduce pain. Okay, so I'm going to leave this product aside. I'm going to focus on the hydrolyzed collagen from now. Okay. So hydrolyzed collagen takes tissues from fish, chicken, bovine, meaning cows. Then in a lab, they hydrolyze, they break down the collagen into small peptides. We consume it in a powder, and it has no fat and no sugar, just protein. Now let's speak about toxicity as well. There is the issue about heavy metals. So when we eat animal products, we also need to see whether these animals store toxins in these organs that we consume. One of the issue is that the collagen from bones had a bit of heavy metals inside, okay? But I want to cover that to make you understand how it works. When we speak collagen from cows, sometimes it's from the bones, sometimes from the skin. The benefits of marine collagen that because it comes from the skin of fish, it tends to have a bit less heavy metals that the cows store in the bones. And a bone-derived collagen may carry a bit more heavy metals. One study found that bone broth made from chicken bones had about 3 times more lead than broth made from just chicken meat. So the body stores more heavy metals in the bones compared to the muscles. But the absolute amount of lead in the bone broth was still very low. So even though it has 3 times more, it has 3 times more from a very low level anyhow. The collagen from skin, either from cows or fish, has lower amounts of heavy metals. From a 2025 study, they found that There was a big difference between different products. Specifically, fish have more arsenic in the collagen, and the lead appears more in the cow's collagen. So even fish has some toxins. Consumer Lab, they have done a study, and they found that most of the collagen was clean, besides one specific product. What seems to be the case is that most of the products are clean, but some collagen products can have higher amount of toxicity. If it makes you worried, then check with the company that you buy. Maybe you can ask them if they're doing heavy metals testing, so you can see how much heavy metals in the collagen that you buy. And worth noting that even though you may have heavy metals in the collagen, it does not mean that it's going to be absorbed, because some of that is going to not be absorbed in your system. I buy grass-fed collagen, and I checked is grass-fed collagen has lower amount of heavy metals, and the answer is no. Actually, grass-fed animals can ingest soil in their diet, and soil has a lot of heavy metals as well. Grass-fed collagen, non-grass-fed collagen, it probably doesn't matter much. What really matters is the actual purity of the collagens that you buy. So right now we're going to speak about how to optimize your collagen protocol, how to use collagen with exercise. I'm going to share my collagen protocol. The first question is there a difference between 1, 2, 3? So we have marine collagen, which is strictly type 1. We have the bovine, which is usually 1 and 3. And we have the chicken collagen, which is usually type 2. And we also have the eggshell membrane. The question is, do you really need the powder from different types? Why not just take marine collagen? This is the difference. So type 1 collagen, it's broken down from skin and bones. Type 2 is from the cartilage, like we mentioned with this product. They take it from the cartilage of chicken. In type 3, it forms the skin, the dermis of the skin, the blood vessels, and internal organs, like the gut. It would sound like collagen 1 would fit better to repair skin and bones. A collagen type 2 would fit better to repair the cartilage. And collagen 3 would be better to repair the gut and the blood vessels. What we know that it's not really so simple, because at the end of the day, all these types of collagen, when you break them down to the simple amino acids, they're all the same. So remember, what your body sees, it sees amino acids, so it's going to be the same, but it also sees peptides. So from the perspective of amino acids, they're all the same. There is not really much difference between all the three types, but there is some data to support type 1 and 3. And I think we do need 1 and 3. Let me tell you why. Because these collagen sources are not just broken down to amino acids, but actually broken down to peptides. Probably going to be better to get some peptides for type 3 and 1. If it were just single amino acids, it would make no difference, type 1, 2, 3. But because you're going to actually get the peptides, it makes sense to get 1 and 3. If you want to repair the joints, then you also need the glucosamine and chondroitin anyhow. But there is theoretical case to put that there is no difference at all between all the three of them. But it also means that it's not a big deal. Like if you just got one at home, consume the one and then buy type 1 and 3. So this is the protocol I'm doing today. 5 days a week, I try to activate autophagy. I usually gonna eat just 1 meal a day with really low amount of protein. I would have some protein left, about 15 grams or 20 grams or 10 grams. That I take the collagen. I would add collagen only if I'm within my protein limit of that day. If no, then I probably only take the glycine. That's my thinking, because I don't want to eat excess protein that is going to raise my IGF-1, activate mTOR, and deactivate autophagy. Then, in the days I train, like 2 days a week, I do more intense exercise and I eat more protein. Then I'm going to add the 20 grams of collagen before workout. So the way I see that 5 days a week to eat lower protein, then in the days that we want to rejuvenate and we do intense exercise, then that's the best time to take like 20 grams before exercise. So what I'm saying is you can actually take collagen in lower amounts every day to complement your protein when you activate autophagy. And 2 days a week, when you want to rejuvenate and to synergize with exercise, then you can actually take a larger amount, like 20 grams, 25 grams, and ideally before the intense exercise. The studies, they showed vitamin C improves collagen utilization in humans, but also vitamin C prevents hormesis by exercise. So I think it's okay to take vitamin C after intense exercise. I take a formula that repairs tissues, a product called Bone Up by Gero that gives a lot of building blocks for repair different tissues, including the bones, and it has about 100 milligrams of vitamin C. So I take that once a week after intense exercise. This way I still provide the vitamin C for the collagen, but I don't have the vitamin C in my system when I exercise. In addition to that, of course, I take 2 to 3 capsules of magnesium glycinate before I go to sleep. I don't take magnesium glycinate in the morning, it makes me sleepy. So you can say on average, I'm going to get about 6 to 7 grams of glycine per day. But recently I decided to add the glycine powder before sleep, so it's going to give me another 3 grams. So yes, I am adding right now the glycine powder because of this research. And the best time to take it, before you go to sleep. If this topic of protein and longevity is interesting to you, and you want to pinpoint the right protein for autophagy at your age, in your body, your weight, and even if you have questions, you can go to wellnessmessiah.com/protein. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful, tasty, nourishing, with some protein recycling day.